everybody, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk about how you can use stress as a positivity engine for your life. Doesn't that sound good? Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. So a couple weeks ago, I had to pick my son up from school. It was about 1 in the afternoon. I got in line about 5 till. And he got in the car about 7 after 1. And I said, hey, Graham, let's do something crazy. Let's try to get our grocery shopping done before I have to take you over to your piano lesson. Now, mind you, piano lesson was starting at 1:30 and this was like 1:07. But he was game for the challenge, and so we hightailed it over to Trader Joe's. We pulled in the lot about 1:11. We ran inside. We split the list. He took one half. I took the other half. We filled up our basket really, really fast. We got in line about 1:18. They checked us out about 1:22. We landed back in our car at 1:23, and we pulled out of the parking lot. And Graham and I are going back and forth. Can we do it? Can we do it? And we were like, we can do it. We can do it. And so we raced on over to Miss Zonia's and we pulled in front of her house at 1:31. It was a mad dash. And as he turned and got ready to get out of the car, he looked at me and I looked at him and we both said at the same time, that was so much fun. And it hit me. What normally would be stress and anxiety, grocery shopping. I hate grocery shopping. We turned into something really amazing. And what I didn't know, but after a little research, I discovered that what we actually experienced was what is known as flow. And there's a very famous psychologist named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, he's Hungarian, and he wrote about the concept of being in the flow. He first noticed it with athletes, and the first time I heard about this was, gosh, a number of years ago from Tiger Woods, because they were saying Tiger Woods is always in the flow when he's golfing. Now, in current day, not so much, but back in the day, he was in the flow. So what is the flow, you ask? What is that being in the flow? Well, it's that sense of timelessness. You're just full of energy. You're full of joy. You're doing and immersed in the activity itself. Like while we were racing through Trader Joe's, I know this is such a silly example. I think it's so powerful because seriously, if you can apply this idea to the mundane things in your life, think how much joy you'll have out of your life, right? So, okay, so we're racing through Trader Joe's. We're not worried about, oh, what are people thinking of me pushing my car? We're not worried about, oh, I'm probably gonna forget everything. We are laser focused on the task. In fact, when we went into the grocery store, Graham had asked me to go ahead and separate out the list. So he had one half, I had one half. We were laser focused on the task. That's classic in the flow experience. You're filled with a sense of, yeah, I can handle this. Like it's on the edge of challenging, but it's also something you figure that you can do. You have enough skill to accomplish the task at hand. Well, of course I know how to grocery shop. I've been doing it for a lot of years. I still hate it. However, when we put that time frame on it, when we turned it into something that was a little more challenging than normal, suddenly it became much more enjoyable. It thrust us into the flow state. So I could go on and on, but I won't because I know you're sitting here thinking, Christy, seriously, it's grocery shopping. I know, but the good thing is you may have other tasks that you find just as mundane, like filling out an expense report or filling out paperwork as part of your job or getting gas, picking up your kids. I mean, there's all sorts of things in life that are kind of mundane activities, but if we can take those activities and really reframe how we think about them, it will bring a lot of positiveness into our life. Okay, so we're taking a normally stressful activity and we're turning it into something really fun. And we're doing this by forcing ourselves into the flow. By the way, I'll link to the book by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the Hungarian, in the notes, so that if you want to read more on this whole topic of how do you get into that state of mind, the book really goes into it in detail. So think about it. If I could take the negative stuff, the stressful things in my life, and put myself into the flow state, I would be able to enjoy them, even the stressful things. So what are some ways that you can put yourself into that flow state? Well, the first thing I did was we put a time limit on it. So say you have a report you have to do. You hate doing this report, but you have to do it. How can you get yourself into the flow for doing it? Simply set the alarm to, if it normally takes you 30 minutes, set your timer to 20 minutes and see if you can bang it out. That's one way to get yourself really quickly into the flow state. Another way is to sit back and observe. Now you're gonna be like, Christy, come on. I know, seriously. Okay, think about sitting in traffic on your way to work. Okay, normally we're just letting our brain go, right? We're not like being conscious about what's going on around us. We're just sort of zoning out, right? You go, how did I get from my door to my office door? I don't know, right? Instead of doing that, I want you to observe. So what happens when we consciously observe the things around us is it heightens the experience so we can enjoy it more. So you may be sitting in traffic, but instead of just whiling away the time being oblivious, start noticing the cars around you. Notice the cars that you like. Notice the landscape around you. I mean, seriously, I happen to live in one of the most beautiful places in the country, for sure, even in the fall, late fall, early winter. And I love the beauty around us, and consciously saying, oh, I am so thankful for this beauty. The mountains are gorgeous when they're covered in snow, or look at those beautiful fall colors on those trees. By consciously observing what's around you, it heightens the enjoyment. Even if your kids are in the back fighting or being silly, observe them and be thankful for it. Really, that's the clue, isn't it? Observe it and be thankful. Okay, so the first thing is give yourself a time limit. The second thing is observe it with gratitude. And the third thing is breathe. I know I've said this before, but in the middle of stressful times, we tend to start breathing kind of shallowly. So what I'm gonna recommend is you take a deep breath, and here's the technique I found to be really, really helpful. You breathe in for 5, and then you hold it for 8, and then you breathe out for 8. And that helps reset your biology. I don't know how it happens because I'm not into the technical stuff, but it does something physiologically that calms you down and allows you to get into that flow state. So very simple ideas today, not big and dramatic, but number one, set yourself a time limit to put yourself in the flow state. Secondly, observe what's going on around you and be grateful. And thirdly, breathe deeply and consciously. And this will help you take those stressful things in your life and turn them into a positive engine. I am really looking forward to helping you find the bright side with new videos every Tuesday. So be sure and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you'll be notified every time there's a new video. Thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, share it with a friend, and I'll look forward to talking to you again next time.